this is a case study question. So case study questions are nothing but you'll be given questions from the same topic, but the wording may be different. Right, so you won't be given direct question. So you'll be given indirect cues, and based on that, you have to answer the given questions. Okay, so this says during a theater drama, a backdrop of building art was used. The shape of the curve shown below can be represented by the polynomial. So this is the polynomial. Right, so this means that this is a question from polynomial where x is the length in feet on stage level. So if you look at one of the arches, right, or say start from there, consider this as the origin. So if you increase the distance, this height increases, right? If you keep on increasing the distance, height will keep on increasing up to a certain point, after which it starts to decrease. Right, so this is typical behavior of this polynomials or quadratic equation. Right, so this resembles a quadratic equation. Okay, so as you vary x, y changes. Clear? So you can see this a is less than 0, right? So that is why this is an inverted u. Right, if you check d will be b square. So 2 square, so 2 square plus, because this is minus, so 2 square plus 4 times 8, 32. So 36, which is greater than 0. That is why it has 2 roots, which is shown here, right? So now, based on the given figure above, answer the following questions. The first question is determine the height of the arc, right? So height would mean, so this is the height, right? This is the height of the arc. You know the value of x is 1, right? So, I mean, if you just substitute 1 in this polynomial, so y will be equal to p of 1. So this is the height of the arc. See, if I draw a line like this, okay, so this is y, this is x. So see, what is the value of y when x is 5? Say if this line is y equals to, say, 2x plus 3. Okay, so if I ask what is the value of y when x is 5, how will you find the value? You'll substitute the value of 5 in place of x. Same case is here. If you are given, instead of this, if you are given any curve like this, and if you are given the equation of the curve, so say y equals to minus x square plus 4. Okay. So now if I give you the value of x, say here, can you find the value of y? Right. So what you will do, you'll just substitute the value of x here. See, when x is 1, y can have any value. Y can have this value, y can have this value. So y can be anything. But you have to find the value of y which is in this curve. So you know the equation of this curve looks like this. So you'll just substitute y, x has 1 in this curve. So you'll get this particular value. This is basically y. P of x means a polynomial which is a function of x, or a polynomial which depends on x. Right, so based on the value of x, this changes. So you can also write this as p of x. Why? Because it is a function of x. It depends on x. If you change the value of x, it changes. So you can either write y equals to, so this is your y. X is independent variable. Because this is something you can change. Right? And based on the value of x, you will get different values of y. So any value, for example here, if you substitute 5 in this equation, you'll get this value of y. If you substitute 5 in this particular equation, you'll get this value. If you substitute 5 in this equation, you'll get this value. Right? If you have any other graph like this, and then if you substitute 5 in that graph's equation, you'll get this value. So based on the equation, you'll get different values of y if you plug in the value of x. So now you'll just substitute 1 and then you'll get this y, value of y. Right? See, at this point, if you substitute the value of x, you'll get 0. At this point, you'll also get 0. So that is why these are known as roots. So y will be equal to minus of 1 square plus 2 plus 8, right? So 2 plus 8 minus 1, which is 9. Second part says, so I mean this is a direct question, find zeros of the polynomial p of x, which points on the graph represents the zeros. Okay, so this has further 2 parts. First, you have to find the 0. To find the 0, you can just do p of x is equal to minus x square plus 2x plus 8, right? So this is equal to 0. Then you can do the usual factorization, right? So first what you can do, you can make this positive because it is always easy to work with positive coefficient. So multiply by minus 1 on both sides. So x square minus 2x minus 8 is equal to 0. So we are just doing the factorization. So factorization works better when you have x as positive because we are used to this equation, right? Factorizing this equation, not this. Okay, I mean you can do it this way as well, but chances of error using this way is more when compared to this. Okay, both way you'll get the same answer. So then you'll do x square. So factorization you'll get minus 4 and 2, right? Then x minus 4 plus 2 x minus 4, right? So x plus 2 x minus 4 is equal to 0. So the value of x can be, what can be the value of x? Minus 2 comma 4, right? So this one is minus 2 since it is on the left side of origin, and this is 4, right? So in coordinate terms, if you want to write, you'll write first x. So the value of x is minus 2 and the value of y is 0, right? If you want to write this point in coordinate terms, you'll write 4. The value of x is 4, and what is the value of y here? 0, right? So you can again cross check using this graph. This graph says when x is minus 2, y is 0. So if you substitute p of minus 2, you'll get 0. Again, if you substitute p of 4, you'll get 0, right? So this basically means y. Now this says which points on the graph represents the zeros. So they have already given the points. They have different points A, B, C, right? So it is asking, and also O. So which points on the graph represents the zeros? It will be A and B. So you will have two answers. Zeros of the polynomials are minus 2 comma minus 4. So this will conclude the first part of this. Second part is the graph, I mean point B represents 1, 0 and point A represents another 0. So you have to write the coordinates. B is minus 2 comma 0 and A is A is 4 comma 0. Then this OR question, find the span of the arc on the stage floor. What does span mean? So I mean, since y is 0, you can just add this, or you can apply distance formula to make or to give more formal approach. x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square root over. So y2 minus y1 you'll already get 0 because both the points are 0, right? And x2 minus x1 you'll get 4 minus minus 2, which will become 4 plus 2 whole square root over, right? 6. So both ways we'll get the same answer. Okay. Write the coordinates of the point of intersection of the above curve with the y-axis. So where is it intersecting? With y-axis. With x-axis, we have already seen it is intersecting here and here. Where is it intersecting with the y-axis? So to the left of C, it is intersecting. So you can make this a point D. Right. So you can draw this figure in the explanation and then mark this point as D. And then it is asking write the coordinates. So let the coordinates be x comma y. Right. Now, do you know the value of x at this point of intersection? So x is 0 because it lies in y-axis. So x is 0. Right. So y is equal to p of x is equal to whatever that equation is. So that point D, the y coordinate of D would be p of 0. If you substitute 0 in this equation, so minus 0 square is 0, 2x is 0. So it will be left with 8. So this is If you have to write the coordinates, so coordinates of that point, what are the coordinates? 0, 8. First you have to write x, then y. Yeah, I mean, this was simple, right? Just the wording was a bit different. So instead of this, the question may have asked, find the value of the polynomial when x is this, right? It is the same thing, but they have just changed the wording.